You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for our Black and White Sports. Well, we're going to talk about Kareem Abdul Jabbar. Now, in case you're not paying attention, he has turned into a lunatic social justice warrior. Over the past couple of years, he is for lack of a better way of putting it, he is a COVID nut. When it comes to COVID, he's willing to slam any and everybody not willing to get that damn jab. Okay, he's been very vocal against people like Kyrie Irving. And for that, I'm not a huge Kareem Abdul Jabbar fan. Hell of an NBA basketball player, a Hall of Famer, a Lakers legend. And he has decided to give a take about Brittney Griner. And I don't think he's right here either. And it just doesn't make any sense. And none of this has made sense from the perspective of, let's, as U.S. citizens, put pressure on Russia for Brittney Griner to be let go. That makes no sense to me whatsoever because, frankly, for a lack of a better way of putting it, what does Russia care what we think? What does Putin care what we think? That doesn't make sense to me. Kareem Abdul Jabbar warns Brittney Griner supporters against pressuring U.S. to act. And this looks like the Houston Chronicle. Six-time NBA champion Kareem Abdul Jabbar is calling on Brittney Griner supporters to put the pressure on Russia, not the U.S. government, to release WNBA All-Star and other imprisoned Americans in Russian captivity. On Tuesday, the NBA legend published a lengthy blog post suggesting that, while well-intentioned, the public outcry on behalf of the Houston native could actually hurt her chances for freedom. I don't get that, but okay. Abdul Jabbar argued that in other instances, such public pressure would make sense, but not in Griner's situation. So, what he's saying is public pressure on the U.S. government, on Joe Biden. Now, I don't know that putting pressure on the U.S. government does any good either in this case. If a social rights activist is being imprisoned in Selma for protesting or a shady police shooting of an unarmed black person in New York, then such celebrity calls to action might be effective. That's because we live in a country where those in power need votes, and sometimes shining a spotlight on them can bring power. The 19-time All-Star, argued that this approach isn't helpful to someone in Griner's situation. Quote, when we demand our country negotiate Griner's release right now, regardless of the cost, that only strengthens Russia's negotiating position. Abdul Jabbar wrote, imagine being in a room negotiating with someone while outside the people are representing are shouting, give them whatever they want. Interesting. That seems a lot like Supreme Court justices and people being outside of their homes right now. Abdul Jabbar, I'm just stating something. In reference to rumors of a potential prisoner exchange to release Griner, Abdul Jabbar encourages the public to allow the process to play out without interfering. Quote, unless I see evidence that government negotiators aren't already doing their job, I wouldn't presume to tell them how to do it or give them a timeline. Abdul Jabbar wrote that Griner's supporters should focus their efforts on putting pressure on Russia. That's where he completely loses me. It makes no sense to pressure Russia or the U.S. at this point. Rather than the U.S. pressuring American officials might postpone Griner's release while the government, quote, deals with Russia's outrageous demands. Everyone supporting Griner has their hearts in the right place, good people one and all. But heart alone isn't effective in bringing her release, and by publicly pressuring the U.S. government, we may be inadvertently delaying her release. Are you saying you want your precious Joe Biden to be left alone? Is that what we got going on here? The two-time NBA Finals MVP wrote that Griner supporters also make the same effort in demanding the release of Americans in prison in Russia, including Paul Whelan, in order to, quote, Prove it's not just celebrities we value. I agree with that 100%. Look, if we're going to bang the drum over a WNBA basketball player, let's make sure we keep that same energy for Paul Whelan. I feel like he and his family deserve the same consideration. So I do agree with that. Griner has been detained in Russia for the past 5 months. She was arrested in Moscow, and we all know why, vape cartridges with cannabis oil. Abdul Jabbar opined that Griner's arrest was politically motivated. We don't know that. We don't know that, Kareem Abdul Jabbar. As it happened a week before Russia invaded the Ukraine. Quote, Russia wanted a bargaining chip because they knew which side we would fall on and the amount of pressure the U.S. would bring to bear against them during the war. Now they have a celebrity to dangle. Yeah, but how big of a celebrity is she really? They don't have Michael Jordan or Tom Brady. Abdul Jabbar also defended comments made by LeBron James, of course he did, in which Lakers stars said Griner should be reconsidering returning to the U.S. after being detained in Russia for so long. James faced backlash for his comments, including from NBA player Enes Kanter Freedom. Quote, you are free to leave, buddy, or you can even volunteer for an exchange for her. In this case, James is right, Abdul Jabbar wrote. James has demonstrated his unwavering commitment to community and country too many times to have it questioned over this. He has done as much, if not more, than anyone to bring awareness and gather support for Griner. For that should he be praised. Interesting. And that's pretty much where his comments on this issue stop. So, wow. Praising LeBron James for what he's done for this country? Kareem Abdul Jabbar, you name me one thing LeBron James has done for this country. I would love to know that because I am curious. I can't think of one damn thing that he has done for this country outside of run his mouth and spread a false narrative and a dangerous one about police brutality. By the way, you're spreading that narrative too. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. If people want to put some pressure on the U.S. government, fine. But he mentions putting pressure on Russia. Do you really think that works in this scenario? Because I've been saying this from the beginning. Russia doesn't care what U.S. citizens think about Brittney Griner or anybody else that they have. Could she be a political pawn? Sure. But that doesn't change anything. I mean, that doesn't change how Russia is going to handle this. I mean, there's rumors about prisoner swaps, and they want potential Russian prisoners that are here. But it doesn't make any sense for her U.S. supporters to put pressure on Russia. I just can't imagine. I mean, Matrix just did a video where Russia is pissed that the U.S. government labeled her wrongfully detained when she pled guilty to breaking one of their laws. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably run Russia pretty damn hot in the scenario. In fact, that may have hurt her cause in getting home. I mean, look, if Russia gets mad enough, they will hold Griner for 10 years. They will, and they'll keep delaying and putting off her sentencing and all this. She may end up being gone for 15 years. I think the louder voices get, the tighter the grip will become from Putin on Brittney Griner. It's odd how people don't see that on the let's just keep it real, on the left side of the aisle, okay? People of Kareem Abdul Jabbar's social justice ilk doesn't see that they could very well be hurting her cause. It's just weird. And to praise LeBron James, really? I mean, LeBron James is a moron. My God, he labeled our entire city racist over a damn T-shirt the other day. I mean, really? Jesus. Yeah, that's Einstein, isn't it? Christ. Kareem can sure play basketball, and he can act in something like Airplane. But boy, when it comes to giving advice, I'm not sure I would listen to a damn thing that Kareem Abdul Jabbar's got to say. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.